What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran and I help people using a spiritual perspective. Today I wanted to share a video about change and acceptance. Acceptance as a means of change. So I suppose we've always heard things along the lines of, change begins with acceptance, or the first step is to accept things. Once you accept, you can grow, things like that. Any variation of things, like if you've ever been to Alcoholics Anonymous, I haven't, not yet. And, they always say, like, acceptance is the first step, all right? So when you have a problem, acceptance is the first step, and the recognition of that problem itself, right? But I feel like a lot of people miss the meaning of that, and a lot of spiritual people may gloss over what acceptance really means. And I don't think it's because we're all just idiots. Maybe some of us. I'm certainly an idiot sometimes. But I think there's also a problem with the way that it's explained. Because we have this idea, I think in general, not every single one of us, but in general, this idea that acceptance means, oh boy, like you're going through something, so to accept it means you just have to live with it, and that's that, and there's nothing that can be done, right? So like if you're struggling with weight gain, weight issues, and so you hear this thing like, well, accept your body, accept the way you look. It sort of makes you think like, do I have to accept this? Because I want to change. I want to change the way that I look, right? And accepting it almost implies that you're just going to stay with the idea that you're not having an ideal body type. You gained weight and that's the way it is. Accept it, right? Accept it, accept it. Makes it seem like you have to take what's going on in your life and just basically do nothing about it and just accept the fact that it's going to be there forever. Something like that, right? It gives people a defeatist attitude, right? And I can understand that, certainly, because I think for a lot of my life, people telling me to accept things sounded as interesting as soil science, sounded as intriguing and relatable as, any sort of astrophysics that I don't know about. It's just sort of like math to me, what the hell is going on? I don't even know 13 times 13. To be honest with you guys, I have no idea. I assume it's over 100 and, something, but I have no idea. So I'm not very good at math. So these sort of terms that people just throw out, they're basically was like math to me, right? But I think recently there's this greater understanding of what acceptance means, right? And it's not this force in which you basically have to lay down your swords and be defeated, and you lost the battle, you've lost the war, and it's time to capitulate, and you're just done, right? And there's no hope, really, right? So acceptance isn't, for instance, you've gained 10 pounds. It isn't saying, well, I guess I should just accept the fact that I've gained 10 pounds, and that's just the way it is, right? No point in trying to look better. May as well just accept the way that I am now, right? Well, that's only partially true, maybe 25 to 30% true. If we're just making up statistical numbers, which I am, then it's only a small percentage true, right? But really, when you look at acceptance, you have to look at the sort of the process of what it means to not accept, okay? So let's take something like some emotional pain. Most of us are pretty much blocked from doing something in our life through some form of emotional pain, okay? Again, not being able to lose 10 weight, struggling with something, struggling to change some aspect of your life comes with pain, okay? Whether or not you're trying to do that consciously or if it's being sort of put upon you, there is pain that comes along with it. It's uncomfortable, right? So if you're dealing with pain, maybe the pain of a loved one dying, maybe the pain of a relationship ending, the pain of a job ending, friendships ending, various forms of pain. The pain of having watched a shitty movie on Netflix, right? Lots of pain, right? I recently watched Adam Project. What a garbage movie. That's not the point of this video, but that movie, man, sucks. Anyway, so the pain of anything from big to small that can be experienced in your life, there is a non-acceptance of it immediately, right? Because our sort of our sort of immediate response is to escape that. Okay? Now, I think a lot of us do this with good intentions, of course. Even this path to enlightenment for the awakened person, they must get to enlightenment, right? They must get to this place. And they must get to this place quick, because that's where you can accept things. That's where things get better. Right now, where the pain is, you don't want to accept that. You want to get to the place where there is no pain. So you want to get to the place where your body is in shape, or you want to get to the place where you have a relationship again, a good one. You want to get to the place where you have a job. So there's always this non-acceptance going on, because we're experiencing pain, we're experiencing anxiety, we could be experiencing physical pain, we could be experiencing any number of situations that are uncomfortable, that we don't like, that we don't really want to go through. And it could, of course, be the way we think, we feel, the way we look, many different things, right? And so we're not accepting right off the bat, because there's this immediate response to basically push away from what we're experiencing and go somewhere else, because we think that if we accept, then something can't change. But we do the opposite. We run away from accepting, trying to make things change, but they don't. They never do. Because acceptance isn't saying, well, this is just the way things are for the rest of your life. Acceptance is saying, even if they are this bad for the rest of your life, it doesn't matter, because you're basically just wasting time worrying about it, right? Acceptance is saying the pain that you're experiencing now is all that you have. To accept it doesn't mean that you're never going to experience joy again, or the opposite of pain. You're not going to experience feelings of peace, or that this feeling isn't going to go away. Acceptance is saying, whatever I'm going through right now, I'm supposed to be going through, because it's here. It's in my experience. To accept pain that you're going through right now in your life is to suggest to yourself, this pain is all that there is. This is what I'm feeling. This is my experience. This is real. This is true. This is what's in front of me. There's pain in front of me. And on the other side of this pain is going to be love, is going to be peace, is going to be acceptance, is going to be some other feeling. But the pain is still there. The pain doesn't go away. But what happens is we see this pain. Let's imagine that it's an obstacle in the middle of the road, like a roadblock or something, maybe a dead cow in the middle of the street. I don't know where you are, the dead cows are in your street, but let's just assume some dead cows going on, and it's blocking your path, and that is the pain, that is the blockage, right? And our immediate response often is we don't want to accept that the road is blocked. We would like to go around the road. We don't really want to deal with the pain. We want to circumnavigate it. We want to escape, either through drugs or more traditional means of actual escapism, right? Escaping pain, numbing pain, right? Basically not wanting to deal with the pain, or we escape in a way that may not be immediately obvious to you, is we escape through spirituality. We want to heal the pain, fix the pain, mend the pain, learn the pain, do something with the pain. We basically want to do everything we can except go through the pain. We would love to take a class, go to a master, take a Reiki session, go do some spiritual medicine, go on a spiritual retreat to Costa Rica, pay exuberant amounts of money to go to these so-called experts, pay Instagram gurus to do tarot readings for you, and so on and so on, get life coaching, various forms, take place in sound bath ceremonies, singing bowls, and float tanks, and on and on and on, and all these things, right? And I know from experience, because I've done these things. And it's just a form of escapism, isn't it? It's just a form of going somewhere else, not wanting to deal with the pain. So it's a non-acceptance thing. So you do all these things to try and allow the pain to take care of itself, but really what happens is you're just escaping from the pain. So if you want to change, if you want to experience changes in your life, you can't escape your pain, you can't run away from your pain, because it's only something that you could go through. It's only something that could ever be accepted. To not accept it is to create a reality where there's two different sides of things. So you experience pain, then you think to yourself, well, there's obviously a place where the pain doesn't exist. I would like to get there. And so that is where the goal is set. That's where your mind likes to go. You've created the opposite already. And so your mind has convinced you that this place over here where the non-pain is, that's the better place. That's where things will be okay. That's where you can start accepting things. That's where you can feel better, look better, do better, okay? It's over there. It's in a different direction. It's 1,000 yards ahead. It's just over the hill, etc., right? But that's not acceptance. It seems like a normal thing you'd want to do, especially with good intentions. You know, I would like to heal myself, so let me go take all of these classes, without really dealing with the issue, which is to accept the pain itself, because that's all you really need to do, is because it's there for you. When you create the image in your mind that there's another place to be, this place where you're healed and whole, you've created a goal and a destination and an opposite, which is the mind. The mind loves doing that. Okay? Creates a place where you can go to feel better. But the place in front of you still exists. The pain, whatever you're going through, it's still here. And if you removed, even just for a second as a mental exercise, the place where you think you should be in your life, healed, whole, happy, healthy, looking better, more thin, more beautiful, etc. If you remove this idea that that place is somewhere, and then all that's left is just, okay, I'm right here. There is no place anywhere else. It's just me right here, this experience. I'm breathing. I don't feel good. There's pain here. There seems to have been pain for quite a while, maybe my whole life, maybe just the past couple of months, whatever. But there's pain right here, right now, in my life, in this phase of my journey, in this experience. And if that's all that there is, and you just sort of pretend for a second that that's all that there is, and you're not creating any illusions of a different place to be, then accepting only means that you're agreeing with life. You're agreeing with the universe. You're agreeing with yourself. You're agreeing that I'm experiencing this now. That is happening. And there's nothing I can do to rid this experience. There's no, drug that I can take that will remove this from my body. There is no person I can talk to that will do this inner work for me. There is no spiritual retreat that will eliminate this process for me, this individual responsibility. There is nothing outside of myself. Things help, things push and pull and experience and experience and experience, but ultimately, after many years, you are left, like me, with the understanding that whatever was in front of you 4 or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, it's still in front of you today. Hence that expression, you take yourself wherever you go, right? Which is a very true thing. So the idea of acceptance is that whatever you're experiencing in front of you, agree with it. Agree that it's happening and shake its hand, give it a kiss, finger its butt. Probably don't do that. Just kidding, guys. Did that offend you? I hope not. But keep... I don't care if it offends you. I'm sorry. I say ridiculous things. I apologize. Anyway, the acceptance itself is right in front of you, right? That's the thing that you don't want to deal with, but it's always been there. And it's basically asking you, like, please acknowledge my existence. And so we don't want to acknowledge it again because we think that we have to be somewhere else, and that to acknowledge it, to accept it, means that, well, we just are going to go ahead and just have that now, right? I'm 15 pounds overweight or something, and to accept that means, well, I'm just 15 pounds overweight from now on, right? But that's not what acceptance means. You accept something because by accepting it, you're agreeing that the only person that can do anything about it is you, and that the only change that can happen is the internal change, is the agreement of this process. There isn't a lot of things that need to be done, which is actually the good news. You don't need to go do 40 or 50 different things. You don't need to really escape your pain, nor do you need to try a bunch of shit to become whole again. You only need to accept what you're going through now. To accept it. To actually agree that this is what you're going through. And when you do that, you open up the possibility of change, of this being the only thing that I can do, that the only thing that can happen, the only reality is this pain here. And so if it's the only reality, then you go through it. You go through it, you pass through it. And what you do then is you kind of think to yourself, well, that wasn't so bad, was it? All I had to do was accept, right? And when you fully accept a situation, it just means things can move forward now. Because when you're not accepting, when you're resisting, when you get anxious and tired and you're trying all this stuff and it's not working, it's time has passed. In reality, in our version of time has passed, and months, years, so on, that you've been resisting a process, whatever it may be, right? Anything, again, diet changes, who knows, right? That process of not accepting, time has passed, and you don't really feel that different, and yet the idea of accepting just never really resonated with you. But now it comes to a point where you're trying to change actively, and all you have left is the lingering feeling of, let's say, some type of pain. And it needs to be accepted. Doesn't mean it's going to be there forever, but the acceptance is saying it's okay if it is, because you're not trying to go to another place now. If you remove another destination, all you have is what's in front of you. And if that's all that there really is, which of course there is, then you have no choice but to go through. But if you have no choice but to go through, then that means you were supposed to. That means that you can do it. You wouldn't go through something you weren't capable of handling, right? You just wouldn't, because acceptance says so. Acceptance says what's in front of you, agree with it. Agree that it's happening, accept that it's happening. You don't have to like it. Nobody said like what's happening. No one's asking you to like bullshit. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not telling myself to like bullshit, and to sort of think that the angels or spirit guides or the universe or God, any sort of higher power, is trying to force you to do something you don't want to do, you don't like. That's not really how it works. That's not happening. No one's asking you to do that. The only thing that's really being asked of you is to agree that whatever X is causing you pain is happening. The pain is real, it's here, it's in front of you, and the only person capable of really going through it is you. And because that's true, then you're obviously the only one who's able to do it. You have the power to do it. And that's why acceptance is difficult, because to accept means to accept responsibility. Is probably a better way of saying that. Acceptance means to be aware of your responsibility, your power, your agency in this world. You accept something like a life situation. It doesn't seem easy because you think that you have to like it or force yourself to be grateful, but that's not it at all. You're just acknowledging that you're not where you want to be in life. Things haven't moved to the progression of your liking. You're not happy about it. It's been a long time. You're frustrated. It's bringing you a lot of emotional ups and downs. And the more that you try to get out of it, it doesn't work. All the logical plans and actions, they're not working. So what's left? Well, what's left is just the acceptance, right? And by doing that with an uncomfortable life situation, you're just admitting, you're just agreeing, yeah, this is happening. Okay, fine. I'm not where I want to be. I'm just not where I want to be. I give up trying to do something else. I no longer resist. This is the situation I'm in. This is how it is. This is how it must be, because this is what is happening. And when you feel that, a weight sort of is lifted from you, and you begin a chapter. You begin something new now, because you've accepted something. Excuse me. Almost died. Okay. You accept something, right? You accept what's happening in front of you. And you can change. You can move through it. You can pass through that quite easily. It's the uncomfortable life situation that you accept, the pain that you accept. You've now allowed sort of everything to catch up. You've allowed it all to just sort of, okay, finally, like all the pain has been with you, right there with you, and maybe you've tried to go up ahead a little bit of it, right? Like this, let's just say this is your pain, and you're right here, and you're always just a step ahead of it because you're always trying to get somewhere else. This place in the mind that I've been talking about, the healed, the whole, right? And other times we escape. It's the same idea. The escapism is just another place. So same idea. you're here and the pain's always just a little bit behind you because you've been sort of, I guess it would be this way, but you've been sort of, going the opposite way. So when you accept, you stop moving. And now the pain has caught up with you, okay? Sort of looks like sex. This is sex, apparently. This is how I view sex. Now it's caught up. You're here. The pain is with you, the person, the individual, and now you've allowed it to be together. So now you both can move forward, you and your pain. You've agreed this is happening now. Finally, now that you've agreed, things can get better. When you don't agree, when you're not accepting, you're ahead of your pain. You're ahead of these feelings. So you're not really dealing with them. You're going elsewhere, but this still is here. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how far you get. This is still going to be here. So you really have to allow it all to catch up. You have to stop moving. You have to accept. Accepting is a pause in your life. Fine, I accept. This is what's happening. Doesn't mean you have to like it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be forever. When you accept, things move more quickly because you're not running away from something. You now have all of you ready. You have all of it together now. You can now move ahead much more quickly than you have done previously because you're moving with this sort of thing. It's sort of like you got this thing attached to you, and it doesn't matter how far you go ahead of it, there's still this string carrying it along. It's like, you're walking a dog and you tied the leash around your waist or whatever. It doesn't matter if the lead is like 50 yards long, your dog is still all the way 50 yards back. It doesn't matter if he's not really in your immediate vicinity. It's still attached to you. So you have to accept that, okay, this is happening. Bring it with you. You move together instead of having to stop every so often to allow the dog to catch up, right? So there's no point. Acceptance is just saying, you know what, this is fine. I'm okay right now. It's not gonna last forever. And the only person capable of going through this is me. So essentially, guys, it's sort of a hard concept to grasp, but I think when you remove the placeholder in your mind of a destination, of a place, you just are forced to live here with whatever you're going through, and by agreeing with it, you're just saying, yeah, okay, fine, I am in pain. I'm not very good at this. I'm not great at, taking care of myself, whatever it is. And that's fine. You accept the fact that you're not perfect, and that's okay too. And when you do that, everything is now caught up. Everything is now right here with you now in this moment, and now you can move forward. Now things will get better. So this is where that truth comes from, where the acceptance is sort of the first part. Yes, that's true, but it's just deeper than just blindly accepting. It's understanding that acceptance is an agreement with yourself. This is what's happening. Anyway, there's probably lots that I could say about that, lots of different offshoots, lots of different related topics. I don't plan these videos, they just sort of happen. So maybe it could have been worded better. But this is what it is, and I hope it did help. I hope it brought some sort of wisdom to you if you watched it. I'm glad that you did. If you did, thank you guys for subscribing and watching my videos. It means a lot. I am a lazy person, I think, and I should do more of these videos more often, but I don't. But I do other things, I suppose. But I am grateful that you guys give me a chance to help you, and I really do hope that I am helping you guys. Anyway, why don't we talk sometime soon when I'm in the mood to do another video. All right, guys, hope you enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Today's St. Patrick's Day, so if you like getting drunk, then good luck. And don't get pregnant. Yeah, don't get AIDS or any of those other things. Don't do that. That's not good. Because I don't want to do a video about AIDS, accepting AIDS. I probably couldn't handle that video. So, all right, guys, have a good Thursday. Bye-bye.